When we are dealing with narcissistic people, especially if we're dealing with narcissistic authority figures who try to smear campaign us and spread lies about us and twist the truth to fit their false narrative about us, when we are sensitive, highly sensitive people, sensitive empaths, we can be very emotional and intuitive, and those are our gifts. But of course, they do not value those gifts and those traits within us. What they want is all the power and control over the situation, whatever the situation is. So what I have learned the hard way is this truth and this fact that gives you a lot of empowerment as a sensitive, highly sensitive person when you're in this situation. And of course, this is regarding every single narcissistic person that you can ever encounter in your life, because, you know, they don't need to be authority figures. They don't need to be from the government to be treating you this way. It can be a loved one, a close person, a fake friend, you know, your life partner who you thought that loved you and appreciated you and was authentically on your side, but it turns out that they are not. They have been smear campaigning you and telling lies about you to people so that you would look crazy, so that you would look like you are the problem, when you have just been reacting normally to their disrespectful treatment towards you, their abusive treatment. And so these people want to make you triggered, like you look like the crazy one, when all you do is react to their abusive treatment. And also they can make you question yourself and doubt yourself and your sense of reality. You can be second-guessing yourself. So this is very deeply manipulative, severe psychological abuse, very controlling. And what you have to understand is that you need to step out of that energy, out of that picture. You have to take your power back and your leverage. And especially if you're dealing with a court case, a legal situation regarding this, even more so for those reasons, because you have to defend yourself. Obviously, you cannot win a court case if you do not speak up, if you do not do what is the right thing to do. So again, this is why it is so important that you really start to speak up, that you release all the shame and the guilt and the fear, and instead you choose to focus on your own healing, your own well-being, on your own empowerment process, and listen to your intuition, talk to God, you know, pray and ask for help, and surrender to the help that is coming to you. You have to build your faith. You cannot stay there suffering alone, especially when you're very sensitive and if you've already gone through enough of trauma and abuse. And like I always say, trauma victims, especially highly sensitive empath trauma victims, do deserve empathy and understanding and support. And so again, what I would advise you honestly, authentically, to do about this, what I learned personally the hard way when I did not understand or see my own power. I didn't understand that I am allowed to have leverage, that I can have leverage over these people. So when I started to really become empowered from within and more trusting in myself and in God and in listening to the guidance, receiving more guidance and help and support, because I'm a narcissistic mother's daughter, and so I never had a single adult to protect me or to teach me anything when I was growing up. So it's been so much work for me. And so at this point, I just had to face the truth that this is just how it is. So you need to become the hero, because ultimately we are on a hero's journey when we are good people, kind people, but our mission is to do good things in this world, to be helping others heal and things like that. So we are heroes when it comes to that, the topic of the hero's journey, that you are a good person, but you know, shitty things happen to you, and it's your job to become empowered from within, to trust yourself, to trust God, to, you know, to trust the entire universe that you are being supported and loved, that you do not need to feel lonely and abandoned and neglected and suffering alone by yourself, that actually you do deserve respect and authentic love and care and support and all the power that you have within. And also I want to add the feeling that most of my life I have felt like I had to be a superhero like Wonder Woman or you know, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, or basically anyone who has been a woman like Lara Croft. I've always looked up to these figures, to those people, and you know, as I do cherish them, also I've had to tune into my own inner strength and survival naturally, because I've had to go through so much trauma. So yes, it's been so much work, and I've been mentioning that sometimes in my videos, and also talking about my path in my self-help book. So of course I do encourage you to also read it if this resonates. But yes, because these people do not want to have the truth drawn out. They don't want the truth to be brought out. That is why they are wanting to rely on that false narrative about you and about the whole thing. Of course, because otherwise they would have to admit to be at fault. They would have to say sorry, apologize, for example. They might feel very ashamed because of what they have done to you, when actually they have been the villain all along, not you. You have been the victim. So this is why it's important to discern and see this whole situation for what it is. That yes, it is spiritual warfare, and there are energies at play, and you need to rely on your truth. So yes, if this resonates and you feel like you're looking for more empathetic, honest guidance and support, yes, I would love to help you, serve you in a one-on-one call or in a reading if you want to apply to book one from me. I also have my coaching program for 3 or 6 or 9 months that you can become the empowered version of who you are supposed to be. That you are winning those court cases if you're dealing with ones, whatever it is, whatever narcissist you are up against. I will promise you that if you work with me one-on-one or even by a reading from me, I will give you authentic guidance and support when it comes to dealing with these people. And also, of course, yeah, buy my self-help book, and I would love to see more lovely reviews also for it. And so you cannot be letting them manipulate you and gaslight you anymore. That is what I really discovered the hard way on my own, when I had nobody to help me with these things. I have recovered and survived from deep depression because of this abuse, from my narcissistic mother, from narcissistic coworkers, narcissistic bosses at work who have been yelling at me, putting me down. Clients, customers putting me down when I was working in retail, for example. You know, it's been like everywhere. I've been bumping into spiritual warfare. And so I've had to do so much work to be staying sane and healthy, and also to be able to focus on my own life and well-being and what I'm here to do. So again, I think it is such a powerful lesson to learn, especially when you are an empath, highly sensitive person, and you've been going through so much bullying and abuse, you know, and harassment, things like that. You have there has been trauma caused to you. Trauma happens when something is too much or too little of something. And it's not your fault. You have been just a target, a victim. But you have to realize that, it does not have to be your entire life story. That's, all you do is you get attacked and that's it. That these people try to destroy you and your life is about survival. Now, I don't believe that at all. That, I've always believed that there is actually a happy, healthy life available. So, yes, again, you need to be able to tune in within yourself, especially if you're feeling a lot of fear, a lot of panic right now because of these people, because they have been attacking you and putting you down and manipulating you, and you feel it all over your body. They have been violating your boundaries, your feelings, your emotions, whatever comes down to you, your truth and everything, your opinions, your rights, everything. And you feel like you cannot take this anymore and you should not take it anymore. But that is why you need to let your nervous system relax, take a deep breath, take many breaths, and be tuning into your inner power. So the more you tune into your truth, into your inner power, into your own light, who you are, and love and peace, you will start to be empowered. So also you need to be building your trust and faith in truth and love and peace to win. So the more you let your inner world tune into those energies, you will become stronger, more healthier, empowered. And, as you rely on the truth, that you don't let them lie anymore. You refuse to let their toxic negative energy and lies about you affect you anymore. That you understand that you have the right to speak up, you have the right to be yourself. You were not born to be a victim. So you're losing the victim mindset, the victim energy out of you, out of your body, your mind, your soul, your entire being. So this is so valuable, such valuable information to learn. And so again, what I also mentioned a while ago in my video, that when it comes to this legal struggle, this power struggle with these people, this warfare, eventually you have two choices. Either you let it go and give up, but if it's really something important, like for example, you're fighting to get your child back, custody, for example, how can you give that up? You cannot give your child up. You cannot give up on something that really matters to you. So that is why you need to defend yourself. When you need to defend yourself, you need to speak up. You need to set those healthy boundaries and start speaking your truth. Start being the empowered version of you. And just because these toxic people who do not know anything about you, they might not even have met you in any point of your life. They might not even heard your voice, whatever it is that is the situation, how you're dealing with them, but they are so toxic and full of that thirst of power and control. They are control freaks when we're dealing with these narcissists, that, all they want to do is win and basically laugh in your face that they have been right all along, but they don't realize that the truth is what you have. They don't have the ultimate truth because they never discussed things with you. They never talked things out with you. And this can also be very common with these people, that they are so stubborn that you might discover and feel painfully that you have to repeat yourself and repeat yourself and repeat yourself and explain and explain and explain and explain and explain. And again, you can feel like you are the only adult in a kindergarten, for example. That is how I have felt when I've been dealing with these narcissistic asshole people. who only want to use power and control over me when they don't even know me, they didn't know anything about me, things like that. So that is how I learned that, hey, I have the truth. I have the real power. I've had it all along. I just did not see it or feel it or sense it. I did not believe in myself or in my truth and power. But yeah, so this is again, why this is so important to address these issues, because it's not okay that good people, kind people, sensitive people keep on losing, because there are so many evil people in this world, these narcissistic people who just use power and control over others and who do not respect others. They do not respect anything about good or sensitive, honest, open, trusting, kind people. They think that those things are weaknesses, and all they do is they project and reflect their own issues onto us, and they treat us like we're objects, like we're cases, like we're not real human beings, basically. So I am so fed up with this. So if my content resonates, do apply to work with me, buy my book, and follow my work.